Good morning. It is Friday, May 24th, talking about censorship today, the second video in my Censored World series. This one is retreating from the internet to survive political correctness. I'll be bringing up my first domain website, Nedroj Dot Com. Now it's Nedroj Net, and my struggles as a creator 15 years ago, how fear is the fuel for self-censorship, equals self-censorship, and how if you secure your home, you allow a muse, you allow the muse to be useful. You allow muses in your life to motivate you. And what I mean, let's start with the website that I had 15 years ago, which I threw up a bunch of poetry that I had done at open mics, some pretty raunchy stuff, some edgy humor, just playing around. I did some reviews of monitors, different products, and just exploring. There wasn't social media back then, no Facebook. Maybe MySpace was around, but I wasn't really exploring it. 15 years ago, 2004, 2005, just coming back from Japan. I had a website, but not my own domain before going to Japan. But really, that's when I snatched my first name, flipped, Nedroj, Jordan to Nedroj, claimed it, .com. I threw up links. It was where you'd have a page of fun web links, if you can remember that kind of thing. And didn't have a way of seeing, or didn't bother to see how much traffic I was getting. It was just a thing I was playing around with. Was focused on other aspects of my life. And then I got hit with a threat, a hammer of political correctness, a concern with some language in a review about a monitor. I was angry about bad customer service, and I used some language that was on the 7 words you aren't allowed to say on television. I used some of those, and it came down hard. It almost cost me everything. Like this thing I had thrown up online, commenting on a monitor on my own website, almost cost me everything. Almost cost me my home, my family, everything. I would have survived. I would have moved forward with my life. But it was shocking how a few words on my own private site could threaten this life that I had been carefully building. And it instilled a great deal of fear in me. And this was 15 years ago. Nowhere near the, I think it's fair to say, hysteria, political correctness, and censorship blankets have stifled things now. So I retreated. I surrendered that battle, not the war. I kind of hid, shrunk my head into my shell a bit, and it was a lot of self-censorship. It was fear equals self-censorship. I, as a creator, still wrote, worked on stuff, but I was lost a bit. It like that avenue of life, of development, was essentially closed. Eventually, years later, I decided to refocus and give it another shot, and I'm years into that effort now. Maybe about 7 years in to really taking my writing seriously again. I've tried it a few times in the past, like decades ago, and then 15 years ago was another, and then 7 years I've been pretty consistently having it be a stronger than a hobby, more of a second second life focus from my my job and my family, my day job and my family, and then my writing, my creativity, which has evolved not just writing but video. And I'm writing riddles now, limericks, riddles, story time, real time, uh, uh, game mastering a virtual tabletop role playing games in real time. And I so I had this fear pushing me, keeping me away from sharing my work, fear of another hammer crashing down and destroying my life, or threatening to destroy my life. So I retreated and I worked on securing things again. We got the home, thumbs up for community land trusts, and worked on baby steps, little security things, just to build up the self-confidence, just being in a better place to allow the muse, to allow my creativity to shine again. And I'm now going to be turning 43 this summer, so I've had a lot of life experiences to draw on, and maybe that's been a blessing for my creativity. Now I'm in a stronger place to be a writer with that much more to say and that much more pent up frustration to express, which is a gift. Like all those negative things, that's maybe the best thing about being a creator, writer, artist of some kind, is like all that negativity, it's like kind of like comedy. The worst things in your life feed the best expressions of art and creativity. It's a good balance. Like we're breathe in, breathe out. One feeds the other. So I have a secure home and I'm allowing the muse in. I will shine through the smothering blanket of censorship with careful phrasing and caution. The great thing about English, there are more synonyms than any other language. So if you disallow, if you cross out, if you have a list of 1,000 words that I can't say, well, there's 100,000 more that I can to say the same thing. So no matter what is tried with censorship, if I am wise, I can circumvent it and express every single idea that is attempted, that people attempt to prevent. Next week, I will slip into my local politics, political experience, the Occupy Portland, the Pirate Party, Green Party, and how political correctness and censorship was woven through that experience from like 2010 to 2012, where I still didn't really understand the full scope of the culture war as it's expressing itself now. Like all the warning signs were there. I just didn't quite put two and two together. My focus at that time was a little off from maybe where it should have been, or the greatest threat to civil society. And I'll see you next week. Gonna do a video on writing if I have time this morning. But more censorship next week. More censorship talk next week.